Hey, we're talking markets with Tommy Grisafi from Advanced Trading, ATI Pro Media. Tommy, we're talking on crop report day. Some big gains in this marketplace, particularly for soybeans. What did you see in that report today?
uh, they lowered yield, and some people were actually, the street was kind of talking like they were going to raise yield, that yields were a little better than expected. Soybeans had sold off a lot the last 6 weeks, and say soybeans sold off $1.50. They put 50 cents of that back on in a short period. Our harvest lows in, well, we're well off the lows, and corn had a rebound, wheat had a rebound. It's nice to have the logo. It's nice to see in a black vest that says Ag Bull and not be talking about markets being down. And as a commodity broker at Advanced Trading, it is a great day when you can sell soybeans up 40, 50 cents on a crop report day during the gut slot of harvest. A good day for the American farmer. By the way, Mr. Don Wick, today is National Thank a Farmer and Farmer Appreciation Day. So we love what you guys do and gals. Keep being you.
Indeed, a salute to all the farmers out there listening right now or watching right now. Uh, the stocks number, the carryout, that seemed to be a little bit more of an influence in the production numbers, weren't they?
Yeah, a little bit of the wiggle in there that people thought that number was really going to grow, and it shrunk a little bit. It shrunk a little bit in corn. Obviously, the USDA, they move around that feed and residual number. Read a lot this morning, woke up early, was trying to look for all the surprises. People thought the surprise might be in the corn, and the actual surprise was in the beans. We'll take one for the good team. Cash beans moving on up. Futures closer to 13 than 12.50. It is what it is. It's the USDA. We'll be dissecting and trading these numbers tomorrow being Friday. We're going to trade them the next 24 hours. So number came out 11. People digested it. A lot of farmers are in the combines. I think you'll see some aggressive selling and hedging tonight. In the open, I think you'll see more people actually making cash sales. So it takes a while for this information to disseminate through the marketplace, especially with the American farmer who's working so hard today during harvest.
And those combines might get sidelined for a bit. There's some wet weather hitting a good portion of the production belt. What kind of impact are those harvest delays going to have on us?
Well, it could be good for the Mississippi River level. We'll take that one for sure. We need that Mississippi River to go up. When you look at these rains that spread on northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, across Midwest, we have rain in our forecast here in Valparaiso, Indiana, for the next 4 to 5 days. Cooler temps, rains. There's still some soybeans out there. A lot of soybeans out there. We need to get the rest of those soybeans in. Could have a little effect on the cash market. Uh, People are putting beans in a bin. People have brought beans to town. You get a week off from the combine, all of a sudden you see those cash markets improve. We could see some opportunities to lock in some basis and do a little actual physical grain trading here as harvest has some delays.
Obviously, we've been focused on the supply demand numbers, but we also had the inflation numbers out from the Labor Department, CPI numbers. What did that tell us, Tommy?
Oh, CPI number came in hot again, Don. We People are out there saying CPI is going to calm down. It didn't calm down. CPI number red hot, even though it was just up a little. The whisper numbers that were maybe CPI had come out with a 3 and it came out with a 4.1, 4.2, and it had a big effect on the bond market. As I look over to my quote screen above me, earlier in the day, the bond market was up. And when I say the bond market was up, that means yields were down. And there were some people starting to see the TV and the news network say there's a good chance that the rise in interest rates is calmed with everything that's happening geopolitically in the world. That maybe interest rates had calmed. You throw what the CPI number did. Just give you an example. Bonds were up a point before the number. The long bond was up. Another bond that I watched was up a point. One ultra bond right now is down 3 points. So in terms, it took the yield on the 10-year note from like 4.55 right back up to that yearly high of 4.70. The 10-year note alone, which there are tens of trillions of dollars borrowed and traded against it, moved about 0.17 today. It's one of the biggest moves of the year the bond market had. So while people who you and I work with are excited soybeans went up, the cost of borrowing money went up tremendously at 7:30 when that CPI number came up. And bond market's having a hard day. That's now hitting the stock market. Dow's down 250. We'll see where things close, but definitely a risk off here when it comes to outside markets.
You touched on geopolitical issues, and obviously we saw the tragic news coming out of Israel over the weekend, just devastating pictures that we're seeing coming out of that part of the world. Does that impact energy prices? Does that have any impact on some things we're dealing with in agriculture?
It has a tremendous effect in that there's just more instability in the world. So when you see what happened out of Israel, it looks like it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Different countries are picking teams. Everyone's picking sides. Starting to see some protest riots. The kids at Harvard said this, and the kids at this college said this, and you're seeing a lot of emotions fly. To put it in perspective, I have a friend, a coworker who I work with, who had his son killed in Israel. So you don't have to look that far to say it's not at that point when you learn news like that, Don. It's not their problem; it becomes everyone's problem. And as we sit here in America and get ready for Harvest or Football Friday or whatever we do, the rest of the world is not at peace like we are. And for as much as people say America's has problems, compared to the rest of the world, we're still the nicest house in town.
We are seeing some issues going on in Congress right now. It has been a whole lot of commotion, and I don't think we're anywhere clear. We're nowhere getting close to ending this situation with the Speaker in the House of Representatives.
No, and I've kind of distanced myself from that. It was wild that they kicked him out, but I guess I'm looking at more international news. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the Republican Party. It's embarrassing for America. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions. Maybe we had a weak speaker, and it'll go down as the right thing to do. But if you're the rest of the world, you're looking at America, like they can't even get along within their party, let alone on the big stage. So not good. Another black eye for America. Again, though, looking at the rest of the world, we must look pretty good.
Yeah, it was a pretty significant issue when we took out McCarthy. Now we're in the situation where Steve Scalise was put together as the speaker designate in a closed-door meeting, but now it doesn't look like he's going to have the votes, the 217 votes necessary to get that speaker position. So we're still sitting in limbo. With that happening, Congress can't do anything until we get a speaker elected. So you remember when McCarthy came in January, it took 15 rounds to move through that process. We're not even very close to having a candidate at this point. It looks like to easily move into that position. And then we look at the government's going to run out of funding again in mid-November. They haven't passed any of the appropriations bills. And yeah, we got a farm bill that's sitting out there in limbo as well. I'm hearing more and more talk about a one-year extension just because of the chaos that we're dealing with on Capitol Hill right now.
Add to that tomorrow's Friday the 13th. It's October. This is going to be a spooky Halloween. This is getting crazy on a world level, on a national level. Maybe one of the safest places to be right now is in rural America. Maybe it's a good time to disconnect from the news. Watch this video, but don't shut it off after that, because there's just so much negativity out there, and you got to stay positive because it weighs on us all.
Yeah, no doubt. Tommy, if folks have questions, if they want to get in touch with you, how do they get that job done?
Yeah, give us a call, 1-800-664-4383. We ask everyone to subscribe to the Advanced Trading YouTube channel. Of course, you're Mr. Don Wick over at the Red River Farm Network, putting on a lot of good content. And if anyone has any questions, give us a call.
Good deal. Tommy Grisafi with us from Advanced Trading, ATI Pro Media.